Hello, all, and welcome back to Courageously Living. This is your weekly energy forecast, and it was a really kind of intense last part of the week. Today, or when this video goes up, it should be for Monday the 11th, which is when Mercury goes direct. So things that you were kind of processing internally, you might now be starting to be willing to communicate that out in a little bit more public manner. That said, there is still a lot of planets that are still retrograde, so you are still going to be doing a lot of internal processing. And we are definitely still in a period of reevaluating what is working or seeing things crumble and maybe not having that sure footing onto where things are going yet. And that's okay. Even though it's super frustrating, super unsettling, one of the things that we have to think about this time is that it is a cycle. And unfortunately, sometimes to get to the new, those old cycles, those old systems, those old beliefs, those old limiting beliefs that we've had about ourselves or society, has to have time to kind of fall apart. And when that stuff falls apart, it is never particularly fun. It's never particularly easy. I know there's certainly a lot going on in my own personal life with changing dynamics of how I do like relationships, how I do with my family, like all of that stuff. So there's a lot going on for everybody, and it's going to show up differently for everybody. Maybe it's somebody's, dealing with their job. Maybe it's someone is dealing with a parent or with a spouse or a partner and really reevaluating, is this the right relationship for me moving forward? And when those break down, or even when they say yes, but we need to have it changed, it still can be really, really disconcerting. So no, you're not alone. Let me know in comments how you guys are feeling, what you're doing. But no, it is an unsettling time, and it's okay to feel unsettled. One of the things you can do is be in nature. Being in nature really, really helps. Stop scrolling through all the news cycles. That being aware of kind of what's going on, but unless you are directly being able to help that specific area, all you're doing is allowing it to take up space in your own head, which is adding to the confusion, adding to the instability. So there is that. Let's see what we've got today in cards. Because it's kind of still wonky energy, still kind of unstable, I thought Break the Rules Tarot would be a great deck to use today. And because it is Break the Rules, I pulled out the majors and a few of the minors. So it is not a full tarot deck right now, but let's see what we got. So for Monday the 11th, we are in a Pisces moon. And again, Pisces is traditionally ruled by Jupiter, who just wants more and abundance, and modernly ruled by Neptune, illusions. So you might find that more and more illusions are starting to fall away from you. Things that you thought were true aren't true anymore. So, we've got two cards for Monday. The Two of Wands. Oh, and I love this. Part of the reason I love this deck is they actually put tarot pictures as horizontal, which is like a big no-no in the tarot decks. So again, kind of that little bit of fun. And that's what you're looking for this week, is having that little bit of time where you can smile, that little bit of time where you can be like, okay, I can kind of enjoy this. I'm allowed to see things breaking down and smile a little bit at different things. And hey, if it's a sideways tarot card, go for it. But where is so especially with the illusions breaking away and stuff with this Pisces moon, where is your own self-judgment breaking away so that new things can come into your life, new belief systems, new values, new decisions that you're making? When you let go of being so self-critical, you're allowed to make new decisions. And a lot of our self-criticism is actually placed on us by other people, and we internalize it. What happens if you're ready to let that go? Even a little bit of it. Where do you start to go then? And with that, we move into an Aries moon for the 12th, 13th, and 14th. Aries is about self-identity. It is ruled by Mars, which can be fiery, but it's also about passion. Where are you bringing passion into your own life, especially when you let go of self-judgment? Think about that. All right. We're going to do 2 cards again for the 12th, 13th, and 14th. So as you're letting go of that self-judgment, you have the opportunity to start something new and have new emotions with that. It is this time of starting to say, I've been really self-critical on myself, on the way I look. What if you let that go and say, I am who I am today, no matter how I look? Or even if I can look in the mirror and say, I like myself. I've done it now so long that I can say I love myself pretty easily, but that's a big jump for people. So even if you can't do that big of a jump, say, I love my heart, or I love my liver, or pick a organ that you love, because you're going to start to change your perspective. And that's what these cards are asking, is saying, change your perspective, change your emotions that are related to whatever you are starting to shift and let go of. This is a really big year of having things kind of get upended in things that we had believed was true, especially about ourselves. And so that's going into Aries. And then Friday and Saturday is our Taurus moon. And Taurus is ruled by Venus. Love, money, enoughness, values, beliefs. And what are you creating? What are you creating in those areas of your life? And a good question to ask yourself is, what if I respect myself more today? What if I value myself more today? What if I trust myself today? How does that start to change the equation of who you are? And it might take several times. I do intentions every day. But what I've found is kind of when you're stuck, when you're not ready to say, like, I love you to yourself, if you put a what if in front of it, you're starting to give yourself permission to be curious about that. What if I would love myself today? What if I would trust myself today? What are you starting to create? Play from a place of curiosity. And what if questions work really good to start changing your mindset, just to give you that little bit of seed of curiosity. You're not having to answer it. You're just having to put it out there. Think about that. And we round out the week with a Gemini moon. Gemini is chatty. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So where are you chatty? Gemini doesn't even really care. Gemini is like, I'll talk to myself, I'll talk to a couple people, I'll talk to a big crowd of people. And it's the Tower. So what conversations are you having that either with yourself, with others, that is bringing that to the surface of saying, I'm not going to play this same role that I played before. If I start to love myself, things need to leave that were in my life that were reinforcing me not to love myself. And maybe it's such a thing as that you always stayed in the house and now you're like, you know what? I want something more in my life. I want to be able to love myself. And if that means I'm going to go for a 5-minute walk today, that's fine. That's still a Tower moment for you because you are all of a sudden changing your behavior, changing your reaction to something. Now, it also could be a bigger Tower depending on what all your self-judgments are that you're letting go of. Maybe it is a breakdown of a relationship. Whatever that is, as hard as sometimes Tower moments can be and sudden, if we look at it for what is in the betterment, the highest and best good for yourself and the betterment of all, sometimes it's those Tower moments that push us forward the most. So I don't always particularly like the Tower moments, but I always appreciate them. And there's a difference there, even when it's hard going through it. So that is your cards for the week. Again, know that we're still in a turbulent time. We're gonna be in a turbulent time for the next several months. And it's just a matter of how well we can connect to it on a day-to-day basis. Because things are going to be shifting, things are going to be changing, things are going to be shifting and changing personally for you, and they're going to be changing in the collective. And some days you're not going to even be able to look at the collective, and that's okay. Some days you are. Just take what you can do during any specific day. And I will catch you on the next video. I am also planning to do a whole series of intention videos. There's a lot that I want to talk about with intentions, and for me personally and for the people that I'm starting to work with the intentions, they're really starting to see differences and changes in their lives. And so I do want to do kind of a whole series here on YouTube for all of you about the intentions. Also, I do have personal coaching sessions available, spiritual coaching sessions available, which we can dive deeper into your specific things of what you want to set for intentions, kind of looking at kind of where you are kind of energetically and kind of going from there. So those are a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing those. So you can go to my website for that. I have the link in the video below, and I will catch you on the next one. Make sure you give yourself a self-hug. Self-hug. And I'll see you later. Bye for now.